Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And today, the clouds, they just wouldn't go away. We did see a little bit of sun, I should say, at about 1 o'clock this afternoon, and then clouds rolled in. But look at this beautiful shot provided by Localtel, and that's up on Jump Off Ridge looking down at the Wenatchee Valley, and you can see the Columbia River and still some low-hanging clouds. And we will see a steady increase in clouds as we get into tonight because our next storm system's moving in overnight tonight, and that will bring a round of snow in our overnight and also during the morning tomorrow, but not a lot of accumulation is expected out of this system. Most of the heavier snow will be back in the Cascades. The rest of us, anywhere from a dusting to about 1 inch of snow, and then maybe even a little bit of rain. And we'll talk much more about that coming up a little bit later on in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. State capitals and buildings around the country were also targeted by mobs yesterday, including the governor's mansion in Olympia. Police say a Wenatchee driver struck another car in an early morning accident Wednesday and then fled from the scene. The man arrested for robbing BJ's Shell Station in Rock Island back in November is now accused in an earlier armed robbery at a grocery store in Royal City. And the two men accused in the December 23rd murder in a Wenatchee apartment were formally arraigned yesterday. But first, we begin tonight. Both North Central Washington's congressional representatives, 8th District Democrat Kim Schrier and 4th District Republican Dan Newhouse, remained safe and unharmed during Wednesday's melee at the U.S. Capitol when insurrectionists charged into both houses of Congress trying to overturn the election that cost Donald Trump the presidency. Last month, Newhouse lent support to a lawsuit that sought to undo President-elect Joe Biden's win. He spoke Wednesday with NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins, and he said he doesn't believe his support contributed to the atmosphere of distrust and unrest.
I don't think that my support of the amicus brief in any way should have led to the kind of actions we're seeing today. What I was, my intention, and at the attention of all 125 others who signed the amicus brief, was to ask the court to look at the states that were in question, that had election processes that were in question, to see if there was anything that fell out of the ability that they, as states, had under the Constitution in how we conduct elections. And so my intention through that was, by answering those questions, to absolutely give faith on the part of people in our election process. So I don't think that there's any connection there. And unfortunately, the Supreme Court, because they decided the state of Texas did not have standing, did not hear the case, but they said it was not rejected on its merits. And so I think moving forward, in the future, we still have some very important questions to have answered through the court system as we look at the 2020 election.
The House and Senate reconvened last night, and the vote to accept President-elect Joe Biden's 306 to 232 Electoral College victory concluded at 12:45 this morning, nearly 21 hours after the session began. The House and Senate reconvened last night, and the vote to accept Biden's election concluded, as I mentioned, at 12:45 this morning. State capitals and buildings around the country were also targeted by mobs, including the governor's mansion in Olympia, where Trump supporters breached the fence and marched onto the restricted grounds at about 3 p.m. yesterday. Governor Jay Inslee and his family were not harmed, and Inslee later gave this video statement about the day's events.
Those acts of intimidation will not succeed in any way, shape, or form. We will continue the work we're doing to protect the health of Washingtonians. In our nation's capital, Congress will follow the will of the American people and take yet another step along the long march to protecting people's rights of self-government that has so far succeeded through frequent moments of tension in our nation's history. Now, I know we are going through a moment of great turmoil. Passions are high, part because we have suffered serial and constant untruths being told to citizens from the highest office in the land. But I am confident that we are on the verge of overcoming this, as we have in the past, and we will restore the ability to perpetuate self-governance. I'm confident that our work here in the state's capital will be similarly productive, beginning next week when legislators, Republicans and Democrats, meet to work to fashion joint resolutions to our mutual challenges.
Police say a Wenatchee driver struck another car in an early morning accident yesterday and then fled from the scene. 25-year-old Gabrielle Rierson allegedly drove her Ford Focus into another motorist's car in the 100 block of North Miller just after 5 a.m. The other driver was mildly injured. The Focus crashed into a nearby telephone pole and the driver ran from the vehicle. Police say they found Rierson's phone and belongings in the suspect car. She was booked into jail Wednesday afternoon. The man arrested for robbing BJ's Shell Station in Rock Island back in November is now accused in an earlier armed robbery at a grocery store in Royal City. The Royal City Police Department says 25-year-old Jesus Torres entered the grocery store on November 6th, pointed a pistol at employees, and demanded money. He'd fled by the time police arrived. On November 17th, Torres is accused of robbing two Moses Lake businesses just after midnight and then leading pursuing officers on a chase through Ephrata, shooting at Grant County deputies as he drove. Deputy Jeff Wentworth was struck by a bullet fragment but has since returned to duty. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says later that same day, Torres showed up at BJ's in Rock Island, where he's accused of threatening a clerk and a customer with a handgun before making off with cash and a jug of antifreeze. Meanwhile, the two men accused in the December 23rd murder in a Wenatchee apartment were formally arraigned Wednesday. Shane Earl Hagan and Brendan Ripper were charged with second-degree murder, second-degree assault, and witness intimidation in the shooting death of 36-year-old Jesus Manuel Garcia of Toppenish. Garcia died by gunfire in an apartment in the 600 block of Idaho Street. Both men faced trial in February, if jury trials have resumed by then amid the pandemic. They remain held on $1 million bail. Coming up next, the availability of hospital beds has been a huge concern during the COVID-19 pandemic. Wenatchee School Superintendent Dr. Paul Gordon said plans are well underway for returning all students to classrooms this month on a hybrid schedule. And travel between Wenatchee and Leavenworth was slowed today as crews cleaned up a mudslide from earlier this week on Highway 2. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Welcome back. In other news, the availability of hospital beds has been a huge concern during the COVID-19 pandemic. Last week, hospitals around Washington were at about 87% capacity. A new study from the State Office of Financial Management finds that the number of hospital beds per capita has declined by almost half since 1986, from 298 beds per 100,000 people in the population to 154. Beds in intensive care wards declined from a rate of 27 per 100,000 to 21 in 2018. Wenatchee School Superintendent Dr. Paul Gordon said plans are well underway for returning all students to classrooms this month on a hybrid schedule. Gordon told Wake Up Wenatchee Valley's Dan Kuntz that he's proud of how well his staff is prepared for students to return.
Where our K through 3 students have been with us for close to 2 months now, and things have gone exceptionally well. Really pleased. We know we're better when we're face-to-face with our kids, and our teachers continue to tell us that with our K-3 students. And as you said, our 4th graders are coming back next Monday, January 11th, and we're super excited to welcome them back. And then quickly followed on January 20th, we'll have our 5th graders. And then on January 26th, we'll have our largest grouping of students coming back, our secondary students, our middle and high school students, and our secondary principals, assistant principals, all the team members, front office staff have been working diligently to make sure that transition goes smoothly as well.
Have the teachers come back en masse, or are there still some teachers who might be a little leery in this COVID world of actually having close physical contact with some of the students?
You know, almost at every point in time as we're bringing students back, the anxiety level has increased. You know, our metaphor for it has been everybody's kind of getting up on that high dive board, and until you jump off, it's pretty nerve-wracking because this is still a worldwide pandemic, and there's still risks associated with it. But each group of teachers and staff members, because it's not just our teachers, it's our bus drivers, it's our front office staff, it's our custodians, our nutritional services teams. Yeah, there's anxiety there. What comforts me is for those who've already been back, they see all the protocols that we've put into place and that they're following those protocols with great proficiency. And I'm so proud of our staff and our students, how well our students are following our expectations.
Travel between Wenatchee and Leavenworth was slowed today as crews cleaned up a mudslide from earlier this week on Highway 2. The Monday slide struck a guardrail and partially blocked the eastbound lane of the highway just east of Leavenworth. The roadway was closed for a short time Monday while debris was removed. Department of Transportation crews were completing that cleanup today with road closures of 20 minutes at a time expected between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. earlier today. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff They checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob. I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Today, just kind of those meh kind of days out there today. We did see some low-hanging clouds. Beautiful shot from our Sky-Fi tower camera up on Jump-Off Ridge, and this is looking down at the Wenatchee Valley, and you can see some of those low clouds, and the cloudiness pretty much stuck around today. We did see a little peek of the sun at around 1 o'clock, but that didn't allow our temperatures to get all that warm today. Unofficially today, 37. Once again, we started the day at the freezing mark of 32, so we only warmed up about 5 degrees. 23 is our normal low temperature for this time of year. Record high, a beautiful 54 degrees. That was back in 1983. 10 below zero, our record low in 1993. Sunrise, 7:47 this morning, and the sun set this afternoon almost at 4:30 now at 4:28. Let's take a look at how we're going to end our work week for Friday, and it's going to be a wet start to it. I think we might see some rain mixed with snow showers as you make that morning commute, so be extra careful as you head out the door tomorrow. And then just mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Upper 30s to near 40 in the Columbia Basin. Wenatchee Valley temperatures just a little bit cooler than that, between 35 and 40. 37 the high in Chelan, and 37 as well the high temperature tomorrow in Omak. As we get into tonight, we expect cloudy skies, a 30% chance of mainly late overnight showers, a mixture of rain and snow. It will be mild overnight tonight too, but you can see the tail end of this frontal boundary in the area of low pressure, and as it begins to push through then overnight and into Friday morning, there we go. There's that 80% chance. I think mainly snow showers in the morning as we cool a little bit. Then our skies will clear out, mostly cloudy for a Friday afternoon, and then things quiet down, at least for the weekend. We'll see partly cloudy skies on Saturday. Some colder air will funnel down, so we will cool down. You can see that creeping down into north central Washington, so just slightly cooler for Sunday and dry for Saturday rather. For Sunday, a little bit of morning fog, not out of the question, mostly cloudy in the afternoon. Things will begin to warm up once again on Sunday. Instead of mid-30s Saturday, we'll be upper 30s for Sunday. And take a look at this next storm that's moving in, and that will begin to affect us late in the day on Monday. We'll see a steady increase in clouds. You can see that cloud deck beginning to move in, and then late night rain showers, not out of the question on Monday. We'll see about a 40% chance for that. As we get to Tuesday, our best chance for rain. We'll see cloudy skies, a 50% chance of the wet stuff, and we will begin a nice warm up too. Look at the green all over Washington State and a little bit of yellow. We're talking temperatures about 45 degrees, and then Wednesday, we're talking temperatures even warmer than that. We're seeing a strong southwesterly flow and an atmospheric river coming our way, so that'll bring us a 40% chance of showers, but unseasonably mild for Wednesday. We're talking 50s in the Tri-Cities, and possibly here between 45 and 50 later in the week. Unbelievably mild. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast tonight. Once again, a mild one, 33 overnight with all the clouds. Tomorrow, we'll start out with a wet one. Remember that. Rain mixed with snow in the morning. I think more snow than rain. 38 then in the afternoon. A bit cooler, as I mentioned, on Saturday, but really not too bad. Mostly cloudy and 34. And here's where our warm-up begins as we get into Sunday and Monday. Upper 30s. The chance for rain goes up on Monday, too. And look at those temperatures as we get to Wednesday. A 40% chance of rain with high temperatures in the mid-40s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Thursday to you. High school football could return in Washington February 1st, followed by a vote of the WIAA Executive Board last night. The 13-member board voted to change its season schedule to move traditional fall sports to the WIAA Season 1, beginning with pre-competition practices on the 1st of February. The change comes after Governor Jay Inslee announced the Healthy Washington Plan Tuesday, which outlined guidelines and metrics for the resumption of education-based athletics and activities in our state. WIAA Executive Director Mick Hoffman said, quote, "The change in guidelines allowed a traditional fall sports to be played in Phase 2, while we still do not have a clear pathway to the high-risk indoor activities of basketball, competitive cheer and dance, and wrestling," end quote. As a result, the WIAA voted to review Seasons 2 and 3 at its January 19th meeting. The sports schedule for Season 1 includes cross-country, football, slow-pitch softball, girls and boys 1B and 2B soccer, girls swim and dive, and volleyball. We'll have more with the local athletic directors coming up tomorrow here on NCWLIFE Channel. Well, the men's college basketball schedule has been thrown another twist today. The number 1 ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs were supposed to play Santa Clara, but the game was canceled because the Broncos are dealing with COVID in their program. BYU, meanwhile, was also dealing with a cancellation in its game with Pacific, so they'll play each other tonight. In fact, just coming up at the McCarthy Athletic Center, game time at 5:30, broadcast on ESPN. The sports network also had to reshuffle its schedule today because of a cancellation of its planned broadcast of Baylor and UConn women's action. That was also changed because of COVID. Also tonight, Washington visits Stanford at 6 o'clock on FS1, while Washington State plays at Cal at 7 o'clock on the Pac-12 network. Well, the Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites heading into the NFC wildcard playoff game with the Rams on Saturday. The line had been narrowing with doubts as to whether Seattle strong safety Jamal Adams would be available after a shoulder injury last Sunday. Adams put those doubts to rest prior to practice yesterday.
No question in my mind. I'm playing, man. Yeah, hey, look, as long as these legs are moving, man, as long as, you know, my faith is with the man upstairs, which is very strong, I'm going to be out there. So there was never no doubt in my mind that I wasn't playing, so let's get that out there. I'm full go.
Adams has now injured both shoulders during the course of this season. He insists that he'll be able to put that behind him as Seattle battles Los Angeles on Saturday.
Yeah. It's just another challenge, man. I'm a savage, bro. I'm a warrior, man. It doesn't matter, man. Whatever it takes, it's not about me. It's always going to be bigger than me. It's about this team. It's about my brothers. You know, it's about my family back home, my why. So, you know, again, I'm excited. I'm excited for this opportunity. It doesn't matter what obstacle is thrown my way, but you just got to defeat it. You got to stay positive, keep going. Whatever. Damn. That's the best damn punter in the world right there. That's the best damn punter in the world. Keep kicking, bro. I see you, baby. But I'm sorry. But damn, that might be a GIF. I mean, they might catch me on that one. But no, listen. I'm okay. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna be limited to anything. I'm full go. I'm full energy. I'm me. I'm going out there to, you know, continue to make plays and continue to help the team win. That's what I'm about.
Interview area at the VMAC there is near the practice field. Jamal's time was interrupted by a punt from Michael Dixon. Health, of course, a key factor anytime you reach the playoffs, and by the sound of it, Seattle will have a healthy offensive line Saturday. Left tackle Dwayne Brown says it will be great to have Mike Upati and Brandon Shell back.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. We had a lot of injuries, you know, a lot of shuffling along the line throughout the year, and so to, you know, have our most important game of the season to be at full strength. It's a great feeling to have all the depth that we need going into this game against a very, very tough defense. very tough defensive front. It means everything for us.
Well, speaking of the offense, it's gotten off to a slow start the past couple of games, needing scoring in the fourth quarter to ensure victory. Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer says sometimes it's about being patient.
Sometimes maybe you're not trying to be patient, but the defense is doing something that makes you patient, or they take things away that you're like, man, I thought we'd hit that big one, but that didn't happen. So, you talk always going into every game about you've got a mindset of how it's going to play out, but you don't know, and you don't know how teams are going to adapt and adjust. And so the word patient, I think it happens. There's some games you go into and you think, hey, it's going to be a battle, and you come off and you have a great start, and next thing you know, you got 17 points in the first quarter. Then there's other games where you're going against an opponent and you're like, well, we didn't see this coming, and it becomes where you work yourself through the problem. The thing I think that we're pleased with is the last couple of weeks going up against some good defenses. It took us a little while to get started, but we made some adjustments. We did some things. There was never any panic. Our guys were poised. They knew that we would sort through the issues, and I think you've seen us do that in the fourth quarter and have these last couple games where we've been able to do that. So, again, I wish that there was a script for how the game goes. Everybody talks about a scripting, and you have these openers of what you script, but there's some games where you go into and your script and you look back at it that night or the next morning, you're like, well, that didn't work the way I thought it would, or they played a different defense there. So I think that's what I would say from a patience standpoint is the unknown, not knowing how the game's going to unfold.
Seattle and Los Angeles face off the NFC wildcard game Saturday afternoon at 1:40 at Lumen Field. The game will be broadcast on Fox. And just a reminder that we have hockey night tonight on the NCWLIFE channel. Tonight's game features the Wenatchee Wild and Merritt Centennials from a game September 21st of 2019 at the Town Toyota Center. Our checker with a call at 7 o'clock. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thanks a bunch, Eric. And finally tonight, on this day in 1893, the city of Wenatchee incorporated. The town at the time was about 20 years old and situated in Kittitas County, which was later split to create Chelan County. Wenatchee's population in 1893 was just 500 people. When it came time to vote for incorporation, 107 residents voted in favor of the move and 7 people voted against. And if you have a video of the day that you'd like to see on our news, message us on our Facebook page at the NCWLIFE channel. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Butler will have his weekly update from the Chelan Douglas Health District on where we sit in the world of COVID-19. He hasn't done one in a couple of weeks because of the holiday season. We'll have a lot of pertinent information that you're going to need. So Dr. Malcolm Butler in his weekly video update tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, your complete weekend weather forecast, which looks pretty quiet, as Grant mentioned, until we get to next week. Then things get a little active. Plus, we'll talk about sports and everything you need to start your weekend. And that would be live and local right here with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, 7 a.m. Friday morning with yours truly, Dan Kuntz. Grant, back to you.
We'll be watching, Dan. Thanks. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in North Central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.